Settle with your adversaries while you're on the way. Otherwise, you will be handed over to the judge, who will in turn hand you over to the officer. So you see, the police have been in the Bible right from the beginning. They deserve a round of applause. All right, to continue in those messages, permit me to invite a man who exemplifies what you will call an officer and a gentleman. I always love to hear him speak. Ladies and gentlemen, for his goodwill message, I'd like to invite General Lucky Irabo, CFR, the Chief of Defense Staff. Please, a big round of applause as he comes forward.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Mr. President, Your Excellencies, governors here present, our host, the IG, the Chief of Army Staff, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'd like to, on behalf of the leadership hierarchy of the Armed Forces, congratulate the Inspector General of Police for convening this retreat, which is geared towards the conduct of the 2023 general elections. The armed forces, by dint of constitutional provisions, have been giving support to the civil authority that the police, of course, represent. And in that sense, we have been involved in all internal security operations and even conduct of elections, giving support to the police. And so we feel very strongly that this time around we should give greater support in the light of the experiences that we've had. For the armed forces, we look forward to a time when the armed forces personnel will be relieved of internal security duties, because we believe, looking at the robust transformation that Mr. President is supporting, which of course the IG is also implementing, we believe that that objective, that indeed mission, will be accomplished very soon. But until then, I'd like to, on behalf of the armed forces, indeed give the IG all the encouragement, letting you know that we're there to support you and other security agencies in providing security for all our citizens. And in particular, for the coming election, we'll be there, whatever role that we're assigned as enshrined in the protocols that is already established by INEC. We'll be there to give all the support in order to ensure that what Mr. President desires for Nigerians, which is to have a smooth transition from the coming elections, will be achieved. On that note, let me congratulate you once again and wish everyone that is for this retreat the very best. Thank you, Your Excellencies.
Thank you very much, General Lucky Irabo, Chief of Defense Staff of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Can we please give him another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Mr. President, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, like we had earlier indicated, this is an opening ceremony of an event that is going to last about 3 days. 3 days of meeting of minds, sharing of knowledge, of brainstorming, of course, joy-joying so that the journey to making this country the country of our dreams would be realized, especially as it's got to do with the elections which will be coming up next year. We thank those who have presented goodwill messages. We know there would have been others who would have wanted to, but time will fail us to list them one after the other. But we're very sure that the messages that have been presented by the representative of the chairman of INEC and that of the Chief of Defense Staff are representative of the opinions of other stakeholders in this project. And so without any further ado, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I will invite for his remarks on this occasion the Honorable Minister of Police Affairs, Alhaji Mohammed Megari Dingyadi. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the Honorable Minister as he comes up here to make his remarks. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Your Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, Your Excellency, our host governor, the Governor of Imo State, Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Yobe State, Your Excellency, the Chief of General Staff, and other service chief staff, the Inspector General of Police, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm highly elated to be part of the convocation of critical policing minds here today in Owerri, Imo State, to brainstorm, share thoughts, and acquire fresh insights on the best strategies for internal security, in addition to reviewing policies and plans towards ensuring success of the 2023 general elections. This highly important conference with the theme, the imperative of a Nigerian police strategic plan for peaceful elections, is coming at a time when our dear country is entering another round of electioneering activities, culminating in general elections in the first quarter of the 2023, when Nigerians will decide on the personalities to elect as leaders to project, promote our shared vision for security, peace, and prosperity. May I therefore salute the dexterity of the Inspector General of Police, Al-Ghali Baba Usman, and his management team for organizing this event to deepen institutional capacity of Nigerian police to build on the gains recorded in sustaining democracy in Nigeria since the beginning of the Fourth Republic in 1999. Democracy worldwide thrives on strong institutions like the police, the electoral umpire, and the judiciary. This underscores the imperative of the Nigerian police reviewing its achievements in the various previous elections nationwide and evolve new strategies for improved performance with regards to improving security, safety, and a peaceful environment before, during, and after upcoming general elections early next year. Let me at this juncture reiterate Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari's administration's commitment towards building a strong and committed policing institution with the requisite logistical leverage that will ensure free, fair, and credible elections at all times. This has been amply demonstrated by the government's strong focus on retailing policing infrastructure and implementing enhanced welfare packages for police personnel despite the challenging economic concerns. In this connection, President Muhammadu Buhari in 2020 gave accelerated assent to the Nigerian Police Act 2020, which replaced the 1979 Police Act to engender a holistic reformation of the Nigerian police. To bridge the financing gap in modernizing the nation's policing infrastructure, deepen the capacity of policemen to prioritize their health and other welfare needs, President Muhammadu Buhari also approved the establishment of the Nigerian Police Trust Fund, which has since become operational. The Nigerian Police Trust Fund has commenced interventions through the building of policing infrastructure, supply of vehicles, arms and ammunition, bulletproof vests, protective helmets, medical items, as well as the capacity building and construction/renovation of residential and office accommodations, to mention just a few. At the ministerial level, a lot has been achieved through policies and programs with the overall objective of building a strong, efficient, reformed, and people-friendly police to stimulate the needed economic growth in a safe and secure environment. It is imperative at this point to also announce that work has reached advanced stage to give legal framework to police training institutions as part of ongoing reform and strategy to reposition them for enhanced efficiency, particularly in building the capacity of the cadet officers. At this juncture, I would like to take this opportunity to call on the leadership of the Nigerian police to see persistent call for creation of state police as a persuasive desire of the federating units to enjoy a more robust policing at the subnational levels. Therefore, this should inspire you to work harder towards meeting the expected global best policing standards in order to earn citizens' trust, support, and confidence in the present arrangement. Policing as a pivot upon which all forms of civil society revolves cannot afford to be politicized or deployed wrongly as feared in certain quarters, going by the recent experience of intolerance and domineering tendencies of political actors in some states. While government continues to advance technology and intelligence-led policing, the role of citizenry in winning the war against criminalities cannot be overemphasized. This, therefore, calls for a more positive attitude on the part of the rank and the file of the police in order to gain confidence of Nigerians and therefore making them their dependable partners in the task of securing the nation. Very critical also is the ability of the officers at the strategic levels to institutionalize and cascade the vision and thinking of the leadership of the officers at the tactical and commander levels, in particular, the resolve of government to ensure that the will of the people prevails in the coming elections. This can be achieved through mentorship and charismatic leadership style from the top down the line and across the various layers of command. I'm persuaded that with the quality of resource persons, facilitators that will be engaged at this conference, the ensuing conversations will generate the needed impetus for our robust policing as electioneering activities gradually inch towards the polls in a few months to come. Permit me at this point to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our host governor, His Excellency Senator Hope Uzodinma, for his unwavering support for the Nigerian police and the other security services in Imo State, and for hosting this election, this strategic 23 election security course. Your Excellency, we appreciate you and the good people of Imo State for promoting enduring security, safety, and peace in the Southeast geopolitical zone. Respect, they say, is reciprocal. One of the biggest projects of the Ministry of Police Affairs is the Data Crime Center, where we have one center located in each of the 6 geopolitical zones. That of the Southeast is located in Uweri, Imo State, just behind the government house in Imo. It is also our intention to locate the proposed National Fusion Center for the Southeast geopolitical zone in Imo State in appreciation of the support the police is enjoying in Imo State. As we move toward the 2023 elections, I call on all stakeholders, including the press, to continue studying the emerging threats, analyze and evolve measures to assist the police in performing its constitutional responsibilities before, during, and after the 2023 general elections. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your kind attention, and wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm very mindful of the fact that we have here today men and women who work tirelessly so hard. So it's important that I point out, before you get tempted to yawn or fall asleep, that this program is being carried live on 5 stations: AIT channels, TVC, Arise, and NTA. So please fight the urge to fall asleep or yawn, because you'll be on national TV. All right. Having said that, I also like to quickly apologize. For the sake of time, we were supposed to take some more goodwill messages from the Chairman House Committee on Police Affairs, represented today by Honorable Linda Chuba-Ikpeazu and the former IGP, Dr. Mike Mbama Okiro. But for the sake of time and His Excellency's tight schedule, we had to cut short those, so my apologies as we make progress. We'd like to make the best use of time. We don't want to abuse the privilege and the honor He's granted us. Having said that, it is worthy of note that our president has become a friend of Imo State. It's unprecedented that he's been here for 3 good times now. And ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce the man who has shown that when there's synergy between the state and the federal, that mountains can be moved. And I'm talking about our host, His Excellency, the distinguished Senator Hope Uzodinma, the host of today's event. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, as you come to talk to our people. Please, a big round of applause, a round of applause.
Your Excellency, President Muhammad Buhari, GCFR, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Right Honorable Speaker, Federal House of Representatives, ably represented by Honorable Linda Chuba-Ikpeazu, and other members of the National Assembly who are with us here this afternoon. Your Excellency, Honorable Mai Mela Bunu, CON, the Governor of Yobe State. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Imo State, Professor Placid Njoko, the Speaker, Imo State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Emeka Ndoka, and other principal officers and members of Imo State House of Assembly. The President Court of Appeal, ably represented by the presiding judge of the Federal Court of Appeal, Owerri Division, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Honorable Boss Mustafa, ably represented by the Permanent Secretary General Services, Honorable Minister of Police Affairs, Mohammed Maigari Dingadi, and other honorable ministers, particularly my own Minister of State Education, Right Honorable Goodluck Nana Opia, the Acting Chairperson, Police Service Commission, my Lord Justice Clara Bata Ogumbi, the Chief of Defense Staff, my brother, General Lucky Irabo, and other service chiefs, the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Air Staff as represented, and that of the Naval Staff, ably represented. My Action Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, heads of paramilitary organizations in Nigeria, members of the various political parties and their representatives, Deputy Inspector General of Police, Assistant Inspector General of Police, and other senior police officers that are participating today in this retreat, members of Imo State Expanded Executive Council, and other government and political appointees, both in Imo State and at the federal level. Members of the heads of security agencies in Imo State, heads of anti-graft agencies in Nigeria, the chairman of Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mohammed Yakubu, ably represented by General Kale Modibo, the National Commissioner. All retired Inspector Generals of Police, retired DIGs, AIGs, and other senior police officers retired. The Chairman, Imo State Council of Traditional Rulers, His Royal Majesty, Eze Dr. E.C. Okeke, CFR, National President of Nigerian Bar Association, ably represented here, Your Royal Highnesses, Ndieze, media executives, distinguished invited guests, distinguished resource persons to this retreat, participants to the police conference / retreat, captains of industry, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed on behalf of the government and people of Imo State that I most heartily welcome you all to Imo State and to this 3-day retreat of senior officers, the Minister of Police Affairs, Alhaji Mohammed Megari Dingadi, the Inspector General of Police, and other very important dignitaries gracing this occasion today. I welcome also all the top echelon and senior officers of other sister agencies, both the military and the paramilitary, who will be taking part in the 3-day retreat here in Owerri. It is noteworthy that this retreat of senior security chiefs is taking place a few weeks after the state hosted a similar event organized by the Nigerian Army. I am personally delighted that on both occasions, Imo State emerged the preferred destination and the host of such significant and very important events involving around our armed forces. There is no doubt in my mind that hosting this event will help to reassure both residents and visitors that Imo State is safe again for businesses and tourism. All thanks to President Muhammad Buhari, GCFR. I listened to the Police Inspector General of Police when he commended the President for approving almost all his requests and for the support Imo State government, through me, is also giving to the Nigerian police. But one silent point is that my support to you is possible because of the support Mr. President is giving to me. I believe that the presence of the top brass of the police and other security agencies in the state for the next 3 days will also help to restore the much-needed confidence in our people and help fortify our sense of security and safety. I hope you will all find the time to move around and interact with our people and take advantage of your visit to behold for yourselves the profound transformation of the state, which my administration inherited only a couple of years ago. We are known for our hospitality. I therefore urge you all to feel at home in Imo State. I was personally delighted and somewhat flattered when I learned about your reasons for choosing Imo State as the venue for this conference. The first of it all is the cordial relationship that exists between my administration and the security agencies. The next, I understand, is a successful containment of insecurity in the state. And finally, my undying commitment to the unity and the indissolubility of the Nigerian nation. I thank you. I thank you so much for these kind acknowledgements and endorsements. I would like to assure you that we will not rest on our oars, as I do not intend to relent in my determination to leave a legacy of a safe, peaceful, and prosperous Imo State. Going forward, this conference is crucial since it is aimed at evolving strategies towards discharging the duties of the police ahead of the general elections scheduled for 2023. It is therefore gratifying to note that history will remember that it was in the beautiful city of Owerri during my tenure as the governor of Imo State that the police met and planned how to give Nigeria one of the most peaceful elections in its history. I say this rather prophetically because I wish and foresee a very peaceful and credible election in 2023. The President has made a commitment towards this, and the Independent National Electoral Commission has also assured us that this will be the case. As you may know, I will remain a relentless advocate of free, fair, and peaceful elections in the country. I have always maintained that every election dispute can and should be resolved peacefully through available legal channels, not by violence or by heating up the polity. When we as politicians accept the fact that losers of today can be winners of tomorrow, then we will see no reason to rock the boat when we lose. I believe that this conference should look more critically at this sore aspect of politics. Perhaps if you do, you may find a lasting solution to the threat which election losers continually pose to our national cohesion. I'm happy that the Police High Command has chosen a perfect team for this retreat. The team, which is the imperative of a Nigerian police strategic plan for a peaceful election, is not only apt but reassuring as we approach the general elections of 2023. Permit me, therefore, to suggest that this strategic plan should include a recommendation that all the candidates in all the elections must undertake under oath to denounce violence. They should also commit and sign an undertaking that all disputes over election results can only be challenged peacefully through the court processes, and that the parties to the dispute must be bound by the outcome of that process. I make this submission because it is obvious to me and other objective observers that post-election violence constitutes a major threat to our democracy. Whereas an election could be adjudged peaceful and free, the refusal of some politicians to accept an outcome of that election or their defeat often throws up more severe threats to our democracy. As we all know, the police is at the forefront of ensuring compliance, peace, and order at any election in Nigeria. The involvement of other security agencies during the conduct of elections is purely complementary. Their role, therefore, is to help you carry out your constitutional duties of maintaining law and order during the process. As such, you must take this responsibility very, very seriously. I expect that you will come out of this retreat far better aware and prepared for the challenges ahead. I believe that with the innovations evolved by the Independent National Electoral Commission, all that is needed now is a conscientious and competent police to conduct a credible, fair, and transparent elections in the country in 2023. Apart from preparing the police for the immediate task ahead, which is the 2023 elections, they also have to be prepared for the daily challenge of fighting crime and criminality. For some time now, it does seem that the criminals have been armed with sophisticated weapons that have emboldened them to even attack the police, not just at the checkpoints, but also at police stations. To be frank, this is unacceptable in any civilized society. Let me therefore use the opportunity of this auspicious event to appeal to both governments and other stakeholders, especially the private sector, to continuously support the police at this point when they are going through the most challenging phase of policing and law enforcement in the history of our country, Nigeria. As we know, The protection and security of lives and property should be the concern of all and sundry. To this end, I appeal to big corporations to also step out and do more to support the police by assisting them with the provision of operational, communication, logistic equipments, and technologies they need for greater efficiency. I am aware that various states have also been supportive of the police and will continue to help in that regard. For us in Imo State, we have long realized that a well-equipped and trained police is a sure way of combating crime. Let me use this opportunity, therefore, Mr. President and distinguished guests, to reaffirm my unflinching support for the police and other security agencies in Imo State, and promise that my government will continue to do whatever we can to make their job easier, safer, and more efficient. I'm aware that supporting the police goes beyond training and the provision of equipment. The welfare of police officers and men is equally very paramount. I acknowledge that the current management of the force has been proactive in ensuring the prompt promotion of officers and men, as well as in the payment of insurance or insurances to the families of the deceased officers. I want to encourage you to keep it up. Such gestures should be sustained as it motivates officers to give in their best and to always serve with all their might. As you embark upon the arduous task of this strategic retreat, please do also find time to explore and savor what Imo State has to offer in terms of hospitality and tourism. I'm confident that by the time you leave, you will be looking forward for another opportunity to return back to Owerri. Once again, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your role. I want to particularly thank Nigerian police and other sister agencies for your role in restoring peace in our state. Welcome to Imo State, the Eastern Heartland. I wish all a very fruitful retreat and a memorable stay in Imo State. At the end of this retreat, may you all, by the grace of God, travel back safely to your various destinations. May God bless all of us.
Mr. President, Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, one of the most useful, one of the most critical, one of the most important human attributes is hope. Hope sustains interest. Hope makes people committed. When people have lost hope in a project or an idea, they have lost completely any interest in that idea. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in the course of his welcome remarks, the Inspector General of Police said that the governor of Imo State, who is appropriately named Hope, has given hope to the Nigeria police. I believe there are people in Imo State who will also agree that he has given hope to Imo State. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this event, the fallout of this event, is something that Nigerians also need to have hope in the electoral process. Can we please put our hands together one more time for His Excellency, Senator Hope Uzodimma, the governor of Imo State. Your Excellencies, Mr. President, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we've listened to interventions, to addresses, to presentations, to speeches. And of course, at this point, let me invite for a very brief interlude our brother Oke Bakassi to relax our minds a little bit as we get to the very high point of this event. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome one more time Oke Bakassi. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, with due respect, one thing my colleague forgot to add is that I'm also a comedian. So in case I say anything, it wouldn't be taken too seriously. You may leave now, and some of these boys will take me behind and make me do frog jump. Okay, just to add that. Mr. President, sir, rumor has it that there's this plan to ban Bomo. We in Imo State here is a bit of a concern for us because there's a special delicacy that we enjoy here called nkwobi. And nkwobi is mainly pomo, Mr. President. So I am pleading on behalf of most of us in Nigeria. I don't know what kind of meat they serve in State House, but some of us like pomo with stew and pomo with sauce. Now, if they ban this pomo, I don't know how we will cope. I don't know if you have tried peppered pomo lately, Mr. President. That thing goes well with cold beer. And it's helping people manage stress, Mr. President. So I would say let us, instead of banning pomo, I have an idea of something to ban. Some of these very expensive perfume, I think we should ban them. They are not really living up to their expectations. I had a terrible experience in one hotel in Lagos. I bought one of those very expensive perfumes. I went to an event in one of the places on the island. You know, Mr. President, how you're running into the elevator in Nigeria, you know, like holy, holy, holy for me, holy for me. Then I run into the elevator, the door slams shut, not knowing that the last person that left there did something terrible. The gas that they left behind in the elevator, Mr. President, can kill anybody. But I was already in the elevator. That will be the time that you expect that your expensive perfume can shelter you from very foul smell. But this perfume disappointed. Not only that it disappointed, as the elevator continued its upward movement, on getting to the 5th floor, the door opened and this beautiful lady walked in. I knew she would experience the same thing I was going through, but that wasn't my problem. As the door slammed shut, it didn't even take up to 30 seconds for it to hit her. Then she was staring at me like I took her destiny. You know how you're in a tight situation, nobody's saying anything to you, but you know you are a suspect. That's how I felt. I felt like I was doing something wrong, yet I'm innocent, I'm also a victim. By the time we got to the 7th floor, she was almost crying. Your Excellency, at that point, I didn't hold it anymore. I said, excuse me, ma, I didn't do it. I met it like this. This is how I met it, ma. You know, I had to explain, even if nobody asked me, because I wouldn't let that pass. Yes. I want to also acknowledge the IGP, sir, that your men in uniform do an amazing job. I have a few friends who are police officers. Some of them I met at the last retreat. I want to also use the opportunity to apologize to some of them that I've not called them since that time. But, you know, if you know a big policeman and you've not called them for a while, that's good news. That means I've not been in trouble lately. Because I would have called if I was in any kind of difficulty. So if I've not called you, just know I'm doing fine. Yes. So your men do a whole lot of nice job. I've been privileged to visit some of the stations, and the kind of problems Nigerians bring, I don't know how your officers cope. Because even me as a visitor, sometimes I want to run mad when I'm at the police station and see Nigerians bring complaint. You know, and people are economical with the truth. They brought in a young man the other time with bruises all over. What did you do? He said, oh, Ghana, this small belly when he give a landlord picking. In my mind, I was wondering, is there small belly and big belly? Because some of these things can be confusing. I don't know how. He said, a small belly when he give a landlord picking, I made him beat him like this. As if that was not enough, another gentleman came in with a case. What is the problem? He said, in land, we get small police case. What actually happened? He said, no, that this man here that brought him to the station is just land. When in cell, we get small court case. Is there a small court case? Sometimes I wonder how you people handle these cases. Then you would think it's only criminals. Then you go to parties and you realize that people are also trying to be either politically correct or economical with the truth. You see a gentleman at a party, as soon as he sights a very beautiful lady, he dances towards her, starts a conversation, and Nigerians can be smooth when they meet a very beautiful lady. Hello, baby, how are you? Yeah, nice to meet you. Oh, you look gorgeous. Then the girl sights the wedding band on his finger and say, sir, are you not married? Then you now hear, anyway, I'm a little bit married. I don't know how Nigerians come up with these things. People are not being honest anymore. You would think it's only men that do it. No, even women. I was at this event, and as soon as one of the ladies sighted this young man who drove in a very flashy car, expensively dressed, young man approaches her, begins to chat her up, then notices her wedding band, and says, oh, madam, I'm sorry, it looks like you're married. He said, well, not really. Now, just small thing they do for my head. Then do small thing for your head, you be juju. You know, it's confusing. So I think if there's anything, maybe we should start creating awareness on the need for people to actually be truthful. You know, and in this era of flood, too many cases are even happening. Just the other day, they caught a man with his neighbor's wife in his bedroom, and neighbors wanted to lynch him. Come on, how can you do this to your neighbor? He said, no, be him bring the woman. Now flood carry the woman enter. Now this flood now wash the woman. Enter a room, so he just they help him. Remove cloth, dry him. Anyway, I don't know how you people deal with these things. Mr. President, I will save your time. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your audience. The Nigerian Police Band, please. Let us take the band for a brief interlude before His Excellency. Nigerian Police Band. Please, can we appreciate the Nigerian Police Band with a round of applause?
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I think we can put our hands together for the police band. Thank you. And if it's not too much to ask, I think we can also appreciate Oke Bakassi. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you. Your Excellency, Mr. President, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a good number of us have heard from the people who are here about the activities of the police. And of course, we're very friendly, we're very familiar with the police. As a matter of fact, the police is the only security agency that tells us publicly that they are our friends. So those of us who are not in the security agencies, we are friends of the police. Maybe some other agencies should also tell us that they are our friends also. Because there are some agencies in Nigeria that Nigerians fear even more than the police. And one of them is an agency that doesn't carry any arms. the Federal Road Safety Corps. More often than not, when you find Nigerians on the road looking to divert, you hear them say, "What happened?" They say, "Road safety day front." Incidentally, some of us have had an experience like that before. I was driving along the road and I saw vehicles reversing. I was wondering what was going on. Nobody was talking to me, but I kept going because it's a road that I know very well. The next thing I saw, a police patrol team reversing also. Of course, that gets you very worried. I now wound down and I asked the people, "Okay, what's happened? Why would I say if they follow reverse?" And the policeman told me, "Bros, road safety day front." Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we thank all of the people that have come to be part of this event. The office of the President is that of a very busy gentleman, especially this particular president. But for him to make out time to come all the way to join us at this event speaks to the commitment of the President to what he had said in his Democracy Day address in the year 2022. And I quote, the President had assured Nigerians in his words, "I remain committed and determined to ensure that the new president is elected through a peaceful and transparent process." Democracy Day address, June 12, 2022. The Inspector General of Police has spoken very copiously about the interventions that the Nigerian police has received ever since the advent of this administration, including some of the things which are unprecedented in the history of the Nigerian police. I think it speaks to the fact that the current President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of this country appears to be the most police-friendly president we've had in quite a long time. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that is why he spares no resources, no effort, even if it means flying all the way down to be at this event, to ensure that the reforming, the re-equipping, and the remodeling of the Nigerian police is something that he does and ensures that it is done very well for the benefit of the Nigerian citizen. It is therefore on this note that I want to invite, most respectfully, the special guest of honor at this event, our #1 citizen in this country, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, to present a key and declare this conference and retreat open. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. President.
Thank you. Please sit down. Your Excellency, the Governor of Imo State, and Your Excellency, the Governor of Yobe State, ministers, and Minister of Police Affairs especially, members of the Federal Executive Council, chairmen and members of Police Service Commission, Service Chiefs and Inspector General of Police, representative of the Chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, traditional rulers, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to attend this event as the special guest of honor. The conference and retreat for senior police officers at this state is our nation's democratic progress in both timely and significant. This conference and retreat will enable us to discuss issues relating to the role and capacity of the Nigerian police being the lead agency in the electoral and internal security process towards ensuring a peaceful, secure, free, fair, and credible 2023 general elections. It also provides a unique opportunity to brainstorm on pathways to guaranteeing a stable internal security space in the countdown to the electoral transition exercise. In my address at the 72nd session of the United Nations General Assembly on the 19th September 2017, I made it very clear that our faith in democracy remains firm and unshaken. In reinforcing my unwavering commitment to democratic values and strong democratic institutions to govern the process, during my farewell speech at the 77th session of the United Nations General Assembly on the 21st of September 2022. I noticed that we have invested heavily in strengthening our framework for free and fair election, and hence I reaffirm on the global stage that as President, I have set the goal that one of the enduring legacies I would like to leave is to entrench a process of free, transparent, and credible election through which Nigerians elect leaders of their choice. Nigerians elect leaders of their choice. I also noted that it has been my experience that a democratic culture provides a government with the legitimacy it needs to deliver positive change. I remain steadfast to these commitments. This informed my disposition to strengthen the legal frameworks and to enrich our legal processes as exemplified by my assenting to the amended 2022 election bill on the 22nd of February this year, 2022. Despite these initiatives, it is recognized that no nation advances its democracy and attains its socio-economic and developmental goals without an effective policing system. There must, therefore, come to a time in life of a nation when the people and government must, in national security interest, frontally address challenges that have historically been negatively impacting on public trust, partnership, and institutional efficiency of the policing agency. For us as a government and nation, we recognize that the time is now. It is in cognizance of this that our administration has prioritized critical reforms in the Nigerian police force in order to reposition it to effectively fulfill its internal security and democratic governance mandates in conjunction with the Independent National Electoral Commission and provide legal framework for an enhanced funding regime for the force. Similarly, I assented to the Nigerian Police Academy Bill to grant statutory recognition to the institution and position it effectively to attain its young and futuristic manpower development programs. I also approved a new and befitting salary and welfare regime that aligns the remuneration of police personnel to dictates of their critical functions, while also approving and releasing funds to support the recruitment of 10,000 police constables annually to address the wide manpower gap in the force. In addition, I approved the adoption of the community policing model as the internal security strategy of the country, with requisite funds released to implement the initiative. Social intervention funds to address critical operational and capacity development initiatives of the force were also approved. As part of the re-engineering project of the force, the federal government is currently working with some development partners towards strengthening the police reform agenda. My desire is to restore the primacy of the police towards rebuilding public trust and professionalism. My vision is also to bequeath to the nation a police force that is not only modernized, but well-funded, suitably equipped, and appropriately reorientated to effectively police our democracy and guarantee a stable internal security order under a citizen-led, technology-driven, rule of law guided by intelligence-based policing models. I am inspired that by our reform initiatives, we have laid a solid foundation towards the restoration of the operational competence and professional efficiency of the police. I am also pleased to note that our police, in conformity to my democratic visions and in manifestation of the positive impact of these reforms, have in recent times been demonstrating high professional, ethical, and operational standards as reflected in their performances in internal security operations and during the recent off-season electoral outings in Edo, Anambra, Ekiti, and Osun states. For this, I commend the force leadership and all officers of the force and wish to charge you all to continue to project a force that will remain apolitical, firm, and loyal to our democratic values in the countdown to the 2023 general elections. It is only by so doing that our police can truly be defined as not just the true friends of the citizen, but as dependable and trustworthy partners in the drive to advance our democratic journey. As I have often observed, elections are local, and it's only when the votes truly count that the faith of the citizens in the democratic process can be demonstrated and government legitimacy assured. This can best be guaranteed through a well-policed election and security operation that is impartial, firm, and professional. This is what, on this day and at this occasion, I charge the Nigerian Police Force to deliver to the nation during the 2023 general elections. I therefore task the Inspector General of Police to sustain his leadership standards that will guarantee a level playing field and secure public space for the citizens to freely exercise their franchise and for the outcome of elections to be a true reflection of the people's choices. I offer my full assurances of support and encouragement in this process. I am fully aware of all steps being taken by the Inspector General of Police to adequately prepare personnel of the force for the general elections, including the recently concluded geopolitical election security management workshop, as well as the ongoing operational plans ahead of the exercise. It is my expectation that force will maximize the opportunity of this conference and retreat to achieve two critical goals. First, to review the current and evolving internal security threats as they may impact on a peaceful and successful elections. Second, to perfect operational plans that will guarantee a credible outcome in the 2023 general elections. I now wish to congratulate and to commend the Inspector General of Police for providing focused, courageous, and visionary leadership for the Nigeria Police. And for striving assiduously to stabilize the internal security order. I also commend the Imo State for his exemplary support to the federal government on security governance, as further exemplified by the hosting of this event. It is now my honor to declare this conference and retreat for senior police officers open. I wish you a rewarding engagement. Thank you for your attention, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, may we please put our hands together for His Excellency, the President. Respectfully, we're going to invite all of those in the front row to kindly just come forward for a group photograph with Mr. President. Only those in the front row. And then the three former Inspectors General of Police who are here. And of course, then the Chief of Defense Intelligence. That number would make up 16. So there will be 8 people on either side of Mr. President of Defense Intelligence. Thank you very much. Respectfully, Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief will join for the group photographs. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Brings us to the end of this opening ceremony. May all of us please rise for the national anthem. The band, please. The national anthem. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, will please remain where we are while Mr. President will take his leave, of course. Thank you very much. We thank His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. We thank His Excellency Governor Hope Uzodinma. We thank His Excellency Governor Mabila Buni of Yobe State. And of course, the Inspector General of Police, who has hosted us at this event, IGP Usman Al-Khali Baba. The rest of the participants at this event are encouraged to remain so that we can get into the very essence of these events after the opening ceremony. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Oke Bakasi and the First Public Relations Officer, CSP Olomuyiwa Dejobi, is just wishing you a very, very wonderful Monday. God bless you.
The TVC News at 7 and the TVC News at 10 are not like any other news broadcast.
It's the big news hour, the hour for the big breaking stories.
We've got some of the best reporters on the field,
Taking you through as it happens,
it's fast-paced, hard-hitting,
with investigations that matter,
bringing in news that affects your life.
with sport, entertainment, and business news so you don't miss a thing.
Experience resourceful coverage with depth.
Every night.
Voted as the best TV station of the year, TVC News breaks into the core of every event as they happen. Following all nationwide big and impactful stories, without the news from every perspective, covering every human angle. I am Veronica, bringing you the news you would want to watch.
Business lives on the fast track of numbers. Business is a strange world where low numbers mean